Hey everybody, it's Alison. Hey Keela. Thank you so much for joining me for my latest Imagine video. We're going with a Halloween theme. This is part of my Halloween series. I'm spraying a piece of smooth Bristol cardstock with fireworks spray in Ladybug and Rhubarb Stalk. Rhubarb Stalk is a little bit darker. It's kind of tough to see on camera, and in the end they kind of just blend together anyway. But the colors are really beautiful and they are pure shimmer. I sprayed some water there just to help the colors move a little bit further. It really doesn't dilute the color much because I've got so much inky goodness happening. But when they dry down, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. It's all shimmer. I did make sure that I dried it completely with my heat tool before I moved on. And now we have the Thorny Vine stencil from A Colorful Life Design. This is a 6x9 stencil, but the panel that I'm working with is 4x5 1/4, so it's significantly bigger. So I don't need to add VersaMark ink to the entire thing. I'm doing a little bit of experimenting here. I want you to tell me in the end if it was a fail or not. You let me know what you think in the comments. So I grabbed a brayer and a piece of scrap paper, and I'm just rolling over it to kind of push that VersaMark ink into my panel. You are not going to see it until after I get the embossing powder on. And even then, it could be a little questionable. Let's see how this is going to work out. So it's not what I expected. Let's be honest. I was hoping that it was going to be more solid. What happened is I used the back of the stencil. Okay. So because of the way it's cut on a laser, the back of the stencil has kind of an edge to it. Okay. It's not noticeable in person when you're just kind of messing around with it, but when you're doing something like this, you can see that there's a bit of an edge. So perhaps it would have worked out a little bit better if I would have used the front of the stencil. Now, if you're just ink blending or something, the back or the front, it doesn't matter which side you use. But for what I did here, I got edges. But I thought that, it wasn't bad. I was going to see how things played out. We're going to work with it some more. Just using my heat tool to melt that black embossing powder. And I'm okay with it at the moment. I don't know if I'm going to leave it as is or what I'm going to do. So moving on, we're using the Stay Weird stamp set from Erin Creative. I love this set. I've used it a bunch of times. It's really fun and it's totally weird, and that's why I love it. I'm stamping that skeleton hand with the rose with VersaFine Clair ink in Nocturne. That is my favorite black ink of all time. And now we're going to grab some Memento markers and color this bad boy up. This is not going to take long, and I have way more colors there than I need. I just grabbed a bunch of things because I wasn't sure what I was going to do at that point. I'm starting off with Ladybug, and I'm using it for the outermost portion of the rose petals. And then I'm going to go in with Love Letter, and then I'm going to go into the deepest sections of each of the petals with Rhubarb Stalk. So if you've noticed, these are the same reds that I used in the fireworks sprays. So the Memento collection has ink pads, it has those little dewdrop pads, and then it has fireworks sprays. Of course, there's reinkers as well. But the fireworks sprays are the same color as the rest of the Memento collection. Not every color in the Memento line is available in the fireworks sprays, but you have a really good, I forget the exact number, but you've got a really good selection of what colors are available. So just so you know, if you like having coordinating colors that span across different mediums, Memento is a great way to go. I'm coloring this on smooth Bristol cardstock as well. It's the same cardstock that I used for the background panel. I like using this when I work with watercolor markers and different mediums because it holds up really well when it gets wet. The inks sit kind of on top of the paper for a while. It gives you a lot of time to blend, and it works really well. And it's nice and smooth. Like it a lot. It's one of my favorite cardstocks for sure. So I went in with Olive Grove and then bamboo leaves for the foliage. My bamboo leaves is getting a little dry. I'm going to need to replace that baby soon. Now I have London Fog, and I'm just adding some additional shadowing to that skeleton hand. Super fast, super simple, not going crazy. You could have used the beige color. What is it called? Desert Sand. You could have used that if you didn't want to go with a gray. But use what you like. I fussy cut that baby out, and now I'm thinking, this background is not really working. It just needs more oomph because that stencil is so cool and this is not great. So I grabbed Tuxedo Black Memento marker and I'm going to fill in all of those areas with the marker, and it's going to make a world of difference. Take a look. Isn't that better? It's better. You can see exactly what the stencil looked like, and that's exactly what I was hoping for. So I have the Hocus Pocus stamp and die combo from Hutson, and I stamped that with Nocturne ink as well, and then die cut it real quick using Bristol because I figured let's have the whites match across the board, because I did do like a loose fussy cut with that skeleton hand and rose. So there's a bit of white showing. So I wanted those whites to match. Call me anal. That's appropriate. I just like them to match. So now I'm letting that dry for a minute. I've got my tape dispenser there. I've got a white card base that actually sat there for a couple minutes. Don't let the camera fool you. I'm grabbing the Nocturne ink again because I want to rough up those edges a bit. I still want the white to show, especially because I did do a loose fussy cut around the skeleton hand and the rose, but I wanted some black there too. I needed to deepen it. And it's tough to see on camera with that black glass mat behind it, so that's why I grabbed the packaging there, just so that you guys would be able to see it a little bit better. I've got Barely Arts glue, which is what I'm attaching all of my pieces with. And we're almost done, you guys. What do you think? So was this a fail? Was the technique a fail? Should I try it with the front of the stencil next time? Let me know in the comments what you think. I think this came out pretty cool. So is a rose a trick or a treat? Depends on how many thorns there are. All right, everybody. I'll be back real soon. Be well. Stay safe. Peace out.